guys, Elizabeth J here. I hope you guys are well rested for the day. So this episode, I figured I'll show you guys my 3 top full body exercises that are great for both strength in the gym and jiu-jitsu. I will do a lot of voiceovers explaining each exercise, positioning, posture, and why it's so beneficial for both the gym and jiu-jitsu, especially if you want to obtain strength. Let's just get started. Alrighty guys. The first exercise that I really love so much for a full body training for both the gym and jiu-jitsu is the Zercher squats. Much what a Zercher squat does for you pretty much helps you target every part of your body. Because why? Because it's the overall challenge to keep stability. So when you go into a Zercher squat, you kind of have the same concept of a squat, but instead of having it over your shoulders like we usually do for a regular squat, you're gonna have it in the crease of your elbows. And the entire time you wanna keep your forearms up like this, okay? In addition, when you squat down, you wanna go into a deep squat, okay? Always keep your neck straight, so keep a neutral spine. And if it helps, to keep your feet a little parted outward, so that way when you go down, your knees don't go in. To prevent knee injury, you can do that too. Go a little faster if you can. I have no weight on this bar because this is a warm-up set. I did some mobility stretching and some warm-up exercises before I started this set right now, in which I highly recommend you do. You never want to jump into any intense exercise without warming up your body, all right? So that was my warm-up set. Again, you want to try to keep your elbows here the entire time. It's going to be tough, especially when you put more weight, or even for the first time if you never really did these type of exercises, right? Just stay focused. Make sure you have a checklist of how your posture is supposed to be. Just get right into it.
Future Elizabeth here. As I set up my Zercher squats, I will tell you guys more about the benefits of this exercise. This exercise is pure gold for jiu-jitsu since it mimics live grappling positions. The positioning of the bar in the crease of your elbows enforces the upper back, the core, and the hips to work together simultaneously, which also directly targets positionings such as body lock, lunging, and guard lifting positions in jiu-jitsu. And for those who do not know, jiu-jitsu is constantly being pulled, getting folded, and resisting a lot of forward and backward collapses. With these bad boys, it's gonna help train your deep abdominal bracing, anti-rubbing strength, and overall thoracic endurance. Simply put, this also means less getting snapped down and still having better posture while still being tired. Zercher squats also dominantly targets your hips and quads, which will definitely help with better joint.
For breaks in between each rep, I usually like to do a minute. I strive for a minute. Sometimes I may need a little bit longer, in which if this is the very first time you're doing Zercher squats, I highly recommend longer break than a minute. Body's not used to this. You're gonna feel it. The full body exercise, guys. It's okay if you're brand new to it. Just give yourself a longer break. Me, I have been doing this for 3 to 4 months already. At a point in my fitness journey where I have to strive for 1 minute break. See, I can barely break, and I've been doing this for 3 to 4 months, guys. If you're new to the Zercher squats, give yourself a longer break in between each rep. The next exercise is another variation of the Zercher, but instead of being a squat, it's an RDL. I'm gonna start it from this angle first. I feel like this angle is better, just for the sake of showing you guys the posture. So same setup. You wanna keep the bar in the crease of your elbow. Make sure it is nice and even, okay? I usually like to just measure using these lines on the bar to measure out my arms, okay? Wanna measure with the bar, the lines, with the crease of your elbows. Brace your core, deep breath. So you want to dive your hips back first. And as soon as you feel that strain, power up. Think of a deadlift but without bending your knees too much.
Future me again. Hello. So Zercher RDLs are criminally underrated for grapplers. This exercise is great for posterior chain, grips, and core under a lot of chaos. As well, it targets your hamstrings, glutes, adductors, and spinal stabilizers. And with the weight right in front of you, it's very hard to hinge at the hips without effort, okay? Which is huge for hip pressure, maintaining base, explosive bridges, and tactical stand-ups. Jiu-Jitsu rarely loads you perfectly balanced, so Zercher RDLs teaches you to stay strong while being pulled forward versus collapsing while hinging and maintaining tension when someone's dragging you. Zercher RDLs are also really good for grip and elbow endurance. It builds elbow tolerance, forearm endurance, upper back isometric strength, which are all key for underhooks, body locks, and grip fighting.
I usually strive for 10 to 20 reps in each set. However, if I find myself doing one of the reps incorrect, which is considered failure, I stop. Sometimes you can keep going after one failed rep, just for the sake of, all right, let's say you're in it and you realize you failed that one rep. So you're like, okay, you know what? The next few, let me do correctly. That's fine. However, if it's a failure where you feel like your body is weak and you feel like you have no control whatsoever, and you feel like you really, really have to push yourself for the rest of the set, just stop. Yeah, that's the best way to avoid injury. Much rather you have a break and then do it better the next time. Okay. So I could do a little heavier. So I'm gonna do 15 now. Okay. Here's the fun part. Have you guys ever tried to do your exercises without music? I know it's like a crime, right? But I used to be one of those people that absolutely needed music while I train. But one time I was doing the squats, which is the next exercise, by the way. And girls, guys, I freaking was grunting so obnoxiously, but it was all because my music is blasting in my ear and I couldn't really hear myself. So, subconsciously, whenever anyone has music in their ears, they usually like to scream, right? They can't really hear themselves. So, because of all that, I realized I was sounding so obnoxious. I was bothering the people around me. And it's not the fact that I was grunting, but it was just a matter of I was just way too loud. And homegirl, you wouldn't believe the way I was squatting. I was only squatting 10 pounds on each side. Like, what the hell is that? After that embarrassing experience, I made a vow to myself. Any intense exercises, such as these three, I will be doing without music in my ears. And it kind of helps me with mind and body connection, which is what you really want to strive for when you're training. So in the gym and in jiu-jitsu, they don't really talk about that in jiu-jitsu, and they really should. But trust me, just try to do one hard exercise or a few exercises that require your all without music. Trust me, you're gonna have a great pump, you're gonna have a great feeling, and you're gonna just be so more in tune with your body versus just waiting for a beat to drop to go crazy with a weight, Next one is squats with the free weight bar. Obviously, we've been using the bar this entire time. Nothing new. This is also great if you want to stay stationary in the gym without having to go around looking for free machines. Just stay in one spot, do your 3 exercises, and you're pretty much done, right? Anyway, mira. So squats are very good, especially with the free weight, because again, it's gonna force you to make your whole body stay stable, okay? It's not a machine where it's helping you. You don't have anybody helping you with the weight. It's literally just you and the weight working together. Let me put my hair on this side. Now, instead of having the bar in the crease of your elbows, we're gonna have the bar here. And guys, I really, really recommend you guys putting the bar straight on your back. Do not use a cushion. Not a sissy, okay? You're a warrior. You got this. It's gonna be cold, it's gonna be tough, but whatever. The cushion's not really good for your neck anyway. It's gonna force your spine to be crooked. And That's what you want to avoid when you're doing free weight, especially with heavy weight, okay? You want to keep your back straight and neutral so you don't have any injuries. And of course, you're going to feel some lower back strain. Your legs of your body has these nerves, and they all connect to the lower lumbar section of your spine. So no matter what, you're gonna feel it in your lower back. That's nothing. Keep it going, especially if you are on top of your stretching and everything else. You have nothing to worry about. The only time you should worry about it is if you overstretch, if you have an injury, and if you feel like you pulled something. Okay, straining is not pulling. You'll know when something's pulled. All right, let's get to it. Again, you want to measure. And you want to make sure your hands are kind of in the middle, all right? Stand up. This is a warm up for me, okay? Now, once you stand up, you want to just adjust yourself a little bit, and then you just do a regular squat. So make sure your head is straight so you keep a neutral spine.
This is a great foundational exercise for athletes and unfortunately very underlooked. Regular free bar squats are great for raw power and athletic base. They're traditional, but they help build the engine for an athlete. They're very good for improving absolute leg strength, power output, rate of force development, which also beautifully transfers to explosive shots, quick level changes, and strong first step and scrambles. This exercise alone builds raw lower body strength and explosive power. Stronger legs mean faster shots, better base, more drive in transitions and takedowns. This is foundational strength, guys. Every grappler needs and should do these. No exceptions.
You're gonna increase the weight to 25. I do not recommend you going to 25 if this is your first time doing free weighted squats on the bar. Why? Because the bar alone is about 45 pounds itself, plus 25 each side. What is that, 50? So 50 plus 45, what does that get you? 95 pounds, pretty much 100 pounds. It took me a whole month to get to 10 when I first started doing these type of squats. All right, guys? So if this is your very first time, please, for the love of God, take your time getting there. Do not jump into the same weight as me. Obviously, if you're a man and you do work out, test out the weights, see what works best for you. But ladies, if you're small, 5'2" petite like me, Miss Elizabeth, do not jump into this weight, especially if you're not used to working out and doing these type of exercises. Do not jump into the weight, all right?
These lifts aren't just for jiu-jitsu. They build strength that carries over to how you move in the gym. The Zercher squats and RDLs forces you to brace your core, stay upright, and stay strong when the weight is not perfectly balanced, which shows up in grappling, but also makes you more solid in everyday lift. The squats build pure lower body strength and power. Stronger legs mean better drive, better stability, and more control through every lift. Put these three together and you have practical strength. Not flashy, not specific to one sport, just strong, durable movement that transfers.
All right, guys. I'm so tired. You can see the sweat, right? Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys learned a lot from this video. If you like videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, Elizabeth J here. Peace out.